In this video, we're going to do wheels, a driver's seat, and a performance air filter. Let's go! So this is the stock Suzuki air filter. This one is absolutely manky. Although this car was serviced recently, I guess they didn't change the oil filter. One of the big reasons for that is you can only get these from Suzuki Japan. So they are incredibly expensive. By the time shipping and customs and all that, you could be talking about 40, 50 euro just for an air filter. Yeah, not fun. So I found a local supplier of HKS air filters here in Ireland, and it was cheaper to get this super air filter than it was to get a stock Suzuki one. So let's get some nice Japanese parts in there. And this is what you're looking at. It's a completely different format. You can see it's much slimmer. Instead of having the folds like a paper filter, it's got this kind of a mesh. It's almost like a scouring pad that you'd use to wash your dishes or something. But yeah, let's give it a try. And this comes with a little sticker, so might as well make it official. I would put it here on the top of the air filter housing, but there's no space, there's all these ridges and stuff, so there's nowhere to stick it. This will have to do. So I didn't bother filming this, but I have taken the driver's seat out of the car. It kind of has these weird rails, and the way it attaches to the car, it's kind of higher on one side than the other, just where the mounting positions are. So my original plan was to try and fit some bucket seats that I had left over from a previous project, which was from my Honda Beat. It was a fixed bucket seat from a company called RCC Seats, which looked like this. So while browsing Yahoo Auctions Japan, I found Recaro rails. And my plan was to try and adapt those rails to try and make that seat, that fixed bucket seat, fit to it. I then fitted the rails and kind of test fitted the seat in. It was going to need quite a lot of kind of adapting and maybe brackets and stuff to be made to make it fit. But the seat, again, just like it had the same experience in the Honda Beat, it just didn't fit my body shape. It wasn't the most comfortable seat. Very like good for a lateral support, but you know, this is a kind of road car, not a track car. So I decided if I have Recaro rails now, I might as well just go out and look for a Recaro seat and see if I can find one here in Ireland without importing one. And this is what I came up with. This model is called a Recaro SR6. They have a whole range of seats in the SR range that go all the way back to you know, OEM cars like the Integra Type R, Mitsubishi Evo, all those kind of cars. They all use SR seats. This is one of the last of the kind of SR range. They no longer make this, they've got new ranges now. But it is one of the most aggressive kind of reclinable seats that you can get. The bolsters, as you can see, are very deep. Great side support and shoulder support. I believe the SR6 was the most extreme version of all of them, in that it had slightly firmer padding here in the central area. It's kind of mix of Alcantara and, you know, more hard wearing materials here. Looks absolutely fantastic. It's generally in great condition. There's a tiny bit of wear here, as you'd expect, but it's in almost new condition. Very, very happy with this. It bolted straight up to the Recaro rails, no adapting needing whatsoever. And most amazingly, for a fairly chunky seat, it fits perfectly. It doesn't impinge on the door. You know, this is obviously a very small car. And even another area that I was worried about was the access to the handbrake, which again No clearance issues whatsoever. So even the shoulder here doesn't meet the window, it doesn't contact anywhere. One of the nice aspects of these Recaros is, you know, you can recline with this adjustment here, but there's also a quick release, so you can get into the back very easily. So it's just as flexible as a stock seat, just with a lot more support. And colour wise, it doesn't look too out of place with the rest of the interior. So I'm extremely happy with that. Big fan of this seat. I did weigh the stock seat, and I weighed this one after with both the stock rails on the stock seat and the Recaro rails on this seat to see how much of an extra penalty would I have to pay. These Recaro seats are known for being built really, really tough, very strong, no give in them. So therefore, they're not the lightest seats on the market. They're built like tanks. This one worked out about 3.8 kilos heavier overall. So a bit of a weight penalty, but I think it's worth it. And the third and final mod in this video will be the wheels. Although these are the stock wheels for this car and they're period correct, and they do look kind of cool, I just think they're a little bit small. Needs something a little bit spicier. These are 13-inch wheels. They are 13 by 4, so they're only 4 inches wide, or 4J. So what I've decided to go for is just sitting over here. I didn't want to go too big because obviously this is not a powerful car. I wanted to keep them lightweight. And I also didn't want to have to put on arch extensions or have it poking out past the arch or anything too crazy. So these are from another Suzuki. If you're a K-car fan, you will know what car these are from. But basically they're an inch larger in size, so they're 14 inch instead of 13. They're also an inch wider, they're 5J instead of 4J. But other than that, the offset is very, very similar. They should be a little bit closer to the suspension and a little bit further out in the arch, but they will definitely be within the arches and no issues there. It'll also allow me to run a slightly wider tire. These are already kind of like fairly ballooned out, and these are 155, whereas these ones are a 165. I decided to go for the exact same tire as what is on it. Keep it Japanese. They're Yokohamas. They're called Blue Earth. They're not a performance tire. They're just a summer tire, but decent performance. Should get a little bit more grip as well. So one thing I'm still not too sure on is the condition of these wheels. They're in, like the rest of the car, used condition. There's scrapes and corrosion, and some of them are worse than others. And the wheels that I got to replace them, again, are the same. If anything, they're a little bit worse. But generally speaking, they're in used condition, no crazy curbing, definitely no buckles or anything like that. So what I generally do when I get wheels like this in this kind of condition is I go get them stripped and powder coated and looking brand new. The problem with that is the car is in used condition, you know, it looks great from a distance, but when you get up close, you know, there's fading and chips and, you know, it's just not a perfect car. I'm fine with the condition of it, but, you know, getting brand new wheels and putting them on a car like this, I don't know if it's actually going to look that good. So what I've decided to do was to just put the wheels on the car as is. I had the tires fitted and I'll put them on and then decide if I want to actually go maybe do a DIY spray myself or go get them powder coated or whatever it may be. But just put them on, make sure there's no fitment issues, and then decide what to do next. If you want to support this channel or you just like Suzuki Altos, why not buy yourself a t-shirt, hoodie or hat? You can find them now at jazdashop.com. Thanks. So, what do you think? The style suits it quite well. Fitment is definitely a bit nicer. Tyres are just flush with the bodywork on the front, sunken in a little bit on the rear. Obviously I'll have to take it on a test drive and just make sure there's no rubbing or anything like that, but I don't think there will be. I'm quite happy with that. So those 3 simple mods should make the car sound better with the air filter, feel better with the figure hugging seats, and look better with the wheels, and have a little bit more grip as well. Hope you liked it. Slán.